How's it going, everybody? Like you said, my name's Justin Skagen. I like long walks on the beach, candlelight dinners under the moonlight, and I absolutely love fraud. But all that, my love for fraud and for criminal organizations, is what led me to my role today as Executive Director of Revenue Integrity and Fraud for Arrivia. Now, Arrivia, we're a white label travel agency operating primarily in the timeshare space and the loyalty space. So if you have a credit card out there and you earn points, and you decide that you want to change those points for another airline ticket or hotel, we're the company that provides the platform for you to be able to do that on. Now, usually when I tell people that I work for a travel agency, and at the same time I also monitor internal fraud, people look at me a little crazy, like, there's internal fraud in travel? You'd expect that, outside, credit card testing, phishing, things like that. You'd expect that, but you wouldn't expect that the threat would be inside of the company. And so usually when that comes up, I tell people, anytime you have more than one employee at a company, you have the potential for fraud. It's always going to exist. There's 3 points to fraud. So as long as they have the opportunity, the motive for it, and the rationalization to do it, that opens up the risk. And to what David was actually alluding to, we had that within our company. Now, we had other little things that we had go on, small little account takeovers, stuff like that from internal employees that we've had to deal with. But this particular case was much, much larger than that. We noticed that this individual was accessing a high number of records within our CRM, and at weird times of the night too. And so we saw it, we got access to the platform, started looking at it, and just the amount of data that was available to us was very surprising. It was literally like having God mode in a video game. Like, everything was there for us. We could see access to the websites. We could see what programs they were accessing, what files they were accessing. We could see everything that we needed to. Better yet, we could see the screen. So we started watching the employee's screen. We went back quite a bit of ways. And one of the random things that we noticed was that they were actually using the computer to kind of babysit their child. They were watching Disney movies and playing Roblox and stuff like that. So we're like, okay, you shouldn't be doing that, but okay, it's not that bad, right? But then we got into the good stuff. We saw where they were accessing the CRM and accessing the member records. But they would go in there, they'd pull it up, they would sit there for a second, then they would exit out, then they would go into the next one, sit there for a second, exit out. Very weird behavior. Not long enough to really write down all the information or to type it out onto anything else. So we're like, okay, what is going on? Finally, a few accounts later, the person goes into it, copy paste into an Excel file. We're like, money. Now we know where this is going to. We're like, now we can get more concrete proof. Better yet, we kept watching and kept watching and kept watching. And what we noticed that they would do at the end of the day is they would hide the tab that they were putting the information onto. Some cases, they were going through and changing the font to white. So that way, if somebody went in there and looked at it, it looked like there was nothing on the file. I mean, they weren't smart enough to know that the file size was increasing, but from somebody that's not paying attention to that, you would look like it's just a blank Excel file. But we were able to see this at that point. Now, as we're going through this, we're also working with our cybersecurity team. And we work with them quite a bit, and we asked them for some pretty big asks. So we asked them, we need the last 90 days of Teams conversations for this individual. We need this individual's entire email inbox. And then we also need any other pertinent information in every single file that this person has on their computer. That's a big ask. That's a lot of data to pull. Normally that takes a team. I mean, I feel like my stuff should always be prioritized first, but they have other priorities, things like that. So a lot of times that data takes a week to get to us, sometimes even 2 weeks to get to us. But in this case, once we were able to actually see what the individual was doing, we had the name of the file that they were saving it to. So now we were able to go back to the security team and say, hey, listen, we know the name of the file, which was not a great one. It was book 3. And we're able to say, hey, pull us down this file. This is the key one that we need right now. We still need the other information, but there's not as much of a priority on it. So we were able to knock down a ton of time on that by just seeing that information. And as we continued to go through it, we were able to identify that, thankfully, the information did not get out. Like that was a major win. I mean, she had a ton of records on their file, and that would have been egg all over our face if that had gotten out. So thankfully, we were able to stop it by using the software monitoring tool and validate that it didn't get out. So with that, we're like, okay, like I said, God mode in a video game. Like, we gotta have this. You just cut my investigation time almost in half, like literally. And so our SLT member was like, you know what? This other team, they had it for about 6 months. You guys take it, run with it. So we did. We took it, we ran with it. So within about a 6-month time frame, we upped that to we started monitoring 1,500 of our employees. Now, the insights that came out of that was phenomenal. We saw, well, number one, from an investigative purpose, we saw all the things that were going on and that shouldn't be going on, and we were able to actually stop it fairly quickly. Now with fraud, one of the bigger things with fraud is the majority of the time when it's internal fraud, we're finding out because something else happens out there and it comes to us. We're now in a position where we can actually see it occurring, we can actually be proactive about it.